Hey guys, it's Dawn here today, and today I want to talk about my favorite Turkish spindle is from Etsy seller RipperWoodCrafts. The guy is John Ripalowsky, if I'm saying that correctly. And I have different spindles. I have some Schneider spindles, and these are great. His spindles, the whorls, the arms seem to be very, very light. This is a very light and very thin. Thin, flat, light. This is his mini Bacote mini glider and the Tigerwood medium glider. This is the size difference between the two of them. He does exotic woods. I don't think he does custom orders. I sent him a message asking and I never got a reply back, so I don't really know. He might just be busy at the time. This one, I just have to mention, is great. Very affordable. $12.95 from Scott's Mountain Crafts. Birchwood for the shaft, like the Schneiders, and it's walnut, black walnut. Spins beautifully, spins for a long time, very, very smooth, spins for quite a while, and it's just really, really nice spindle. But my absolute favorite is from RipperWoodCrafts, and this is the first one I got from him as a tester. Well, for me to test to see if I liked it, and I just absolutely fell in love with this one. And that's when I went ahead and contacted him to see if he would make some more for me, because he didn't have any other ones in his shop at the time that I wanted. So I just contacted him, and he is such a nice guy to deal with. So I would totally recommend. This is my most favorite wood. It's tulip wood, and he puts these solid brass inserts that adds weight. It's actually a big difference in weight. So whereas the Schneider ones tend to be more light, then these ones tend to be more heavy. This one is 30 grams, and the Bacote mini glider is 15 to 18 grams, and his medium one is 24 to 26 grams. So the medium one over there is actually even lighter than this small one. So I'm just gonna show you real quick how it spins. So I tend to like the heavier ones, because I found that I can still make lace thread with them, very, very thin thread, and it still holds even when it's heavy. It's on the heavier side. But what happens is when you're spinning, there's actually 4 different forces that you have to pay attention to. The spinning direction, and then the force opposite of that. And then you got the up and down force as well. So when you spin, you may tend to push it upwards. So the extra weight will help pull it down and keep it stable. So when you're spinning, oh, remember, I'm doing the forward-facing camera, so everything is opposite. It's mirror imaged. But so if I spin this way, then it wants to also come back the opposite way. So there's those two forces. And then if I do anything funky with my arm, it's also going to want to go up. Also, as it's spinning, I'm putting this tension, this wants to go up as well, right? So there is an upward pull. So when you have enough weight to also pull it down, that adds stability, balance, and smoothness, really, really smooth. And then it'll just spin forever. And it doesn't do that funky thing where it goes all like wonky because it's too light. I don't think I really have one to show you as an example, but let me see if I can get this one to show you. But oh, so when I'm doing this, some people like to hook it on an arm and then go up. I don't even think you need to do that. I just wind it up a little, and this is how you do a temporary cop as well. You just wind it up on the arm, and then you go up, and that works just as well. But you see how this one tends to want to go woo, like that. I gotta unwind it first. It's not quite as smooth, but this is very, very light. See, like that. It tends to want to just go woo, woo, woo. So if you find that that's happening, then all you have to do is really pay attention to keep your hand still. It's going to do that because of how light it is. But you can focus more on keeping your hand still, and then it won't jump up, or get something a little bit heavier, and then you don't have to worry about that. Let the weight work with you, work for you. So that's kind of like why I like the heavier ones. I think because I'm kind of a brute, so I tend to make them go like that. But let's see what else. Oh, the other thing is, when I'm starting one of these, you know how you put your thingy in, and then you drop your shaft in on top of it, and then it's like this. Then I will manually wind some up, and then I'll wind it around here, and then I'll put my half hitch in. And this is why I asked him to make these grooves on the bottom. And then I can also spin it like this. So it actually, when I do that, it actually basically becomes a drop spindle too. Because if I wanted to, I could just spin like this and then just wind everything down on the shaft under that. I kind of lost my place here. But let's see. So after getting the small one of the tulip wood, I absolutely fell in love with it. And then I asked him to order, I asked him if he could make me a medium one of an exotic wood that was very pretty. And then he showed me a whole bunch of exotic woods, and then I fell in love with a whole bunch of them. So I ended up with 3. So this is a medium tulip wood. Absolutely gorgeous. And I asked him to add those grooves on the bottom of the shaft to help me keep my center yarn too, because I tend to lose my center yarn sometimes. So, oh, and the top is like this, and it's quite steady. This is Cocobolo. The brass inserts are just great. The extra weight in it, it feels so stable. The ebony shaft is just so smooth and so nice. And if you like these little finials or grooves, just ask if he would add them. This is the snake wood. And he has a whole bunch of other ones too. Then I also wanted some dizzes, and so I asked him if he would make me matching dizzes, and so he did. This is the tulip wood diz, and everything. I specified what I wanted, the type of wood, the shape, the size of the holes, the placement of the holes. Some of the things I asked, you know, he just came up with on his own and stuff, and it was a great back and forth conversation and discussion to come up with these. So I have a snakewood one. I basically have matching dizzes of the 3 different exotic woods that I loved. And these work beautifully. I keep them with all my other spinning stuff. And that's what they look like. That's the size. Oops. And it's actually concave in there. It's curved in there. So, and he can add all of that stuff in. This is the difference in the cup sizes from his small one. This one I made from the small tulip wood that I had, and this is the medium tulip wood. This one I went a little bit larger than I normally would, just because I was really trying to fill it up. And so there it is. But that's quite a big difference between how much you can make out of each one. Here's all of them. So here's the small one, and then the medium one. I actually wore a black shirt just in case this would help make these guys stand out. But excellent craftsmanship, very smooth. The ebony wood is so smooth and just beautiful to spin on your finger. This holds it's very slight up there, so it makes it really easy to flick off your half hitch, but it's also secure enough. If I crank it down, then it doesn't, I don't have a lot of accidental pop-offs. I asked for that at the bottom, and I love that. This is what it looks like if you don't have that. See how it's just smooth? But I can't think of anything. Show you the shape. I can't think of any cons, really. He ships from Canada, and I'm in California, so it took 9 days to get to me. This is the skinny piece. So there you go. That's my review on his spindles. The other spindles are excellent as well. It's kind of hard to compare them because they're all kind of different. They all have their own personalities and stuff. And I think when you spin, then you figure out your own preferences, because I went back and forth constantly. I went, because sometimes I love it, and then I go to this one, and then I love this one more, and then I go back, and it's just, I still can't really rank them, because they're kind of each of them are in their own separate fields. The Snyder ones is excellent in how light it is, and how flat and thin and compact. These ones are so smooth and they spin for a long time, and you would want something that spins for a longer time if you're constantly doing it on the fly. You're drafting on the fly and you're spinning at the same time, then you don't want to have to worry about whether or not this is still spinning. You just want to forget about it and let it go, and then that's when the beauty of the long spin really comes into play, because you want it to spin and you want it to have enough weight and momentum to also resist spinning backwards. Because that's the other annoying thing is, you think you got enough time, you're on the fly doing it, and then it's spinning, and all of a sudden you look down and it's spinning backwards and your whole work is getting unwound. So that's kind of annoying. This has enough forward momentum with the brass inserts to kind of push it and fight the opposing force. And then of course what I said about its weight, also its weight, has its own substance, its own force to want to pull down, that's going to combat how that yarn that you're creating, it wants to constrict and pull upwards. This is pulling downwards, and it's going to help that stability and the smoothness of the spin, which is just perfect. So there you go. Hope that helps in your shopping. If you want more details on the other spindles or whatnot, just let me know and I can make more videos, or how to spin and tips like that. I try to keep these videos kind of short. So just post up any questions and I'd be happy to make more videos or answer your questions or whatever. Okay, so there you go, sharing my most favorite spindles from an excellent and really awesome guy to work with, and I'm so grateful that he is so generous with his gift with wood crafting, because this is just amazing to be able to spin with something really nice and smooth like that. It's just a joy. All right, so there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.